Today we are going to start and understand what is NLP. NLP is natural language processing. But before we go ahead, I just want to play a small video for all of you to understand how great AI is.
Neelima ma'am, is the video supposed to be no audio?
Okay, I'll pause the video. Now, can you understand? This video was actually portrayed when the Jeopardy game, which happened in 2011. Brad and Ken are international players in Jeopardy, but they lost it with you know who it is? With Watson. Watson is an AI machine, AI engine, which has overcome both Ken and Brad. You know what Watson has used? It has used NLP. Now, let me go further into NLP. NLP, as I said, is natural language processing. I'll make the system a little more interactive. May know how do you interchange information between you and your friend or anyone else? May know how do you do that? Most likely it is through audio or text, email, WhatsApp, SMS, or any other media, right? It's mostly text, unless until the persons are artistic in nature who draw the pictures, and then, yeah, information can be shared in that way also. What do you say? Okay, can you hear me? Hello? Hello, am I audible? Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
we can hear you.
Yeah, sure, great. So I think you understood, right? The information that we interchange is mostly either in the audible format, or, yeah, nowadays video has also come into picture, which is easily accessible, right? But from ages, it was mostly in the form of text or audio, which was again in the form of telephonic conversation. But now we also have got video. You know what? This is the data which our machine learning actually relies on. Machine learning, artificial intelligence, are two different names for the same thing when we actually relate it to NLP on huge data. So this text, okay, someone was, Dr. Mahinder is asking, she said she'll share the video later. Yeah, if you want, I can play the video later, but I thought there is a time constraint, so probably I'll explain everything and then get into the video and again correlate the contents that I have taught, have explained in the session with the video. Would that be fine, Dr. Mahinder? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are, ma'am. Go ahead, please.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. Now, coming to the point, as I said, most of the information is either shared in the form of text or in the form of audio, and now video has also come into picture, right? That way, this data that is actually used is mostly in the form of text, which is called unstructured data. The text that is in the unstructured form. When I talk to you with the words, the plain simple words. There is no definite template, right? I cannot use first noun and then some adjective and then verb. There is no specific template. The only thing that is needed for me to interact with you, either verbally or through text or through video, is to make it sensible, so that you follow what I'm saying and I follow what you're saying, right? So that is called unstructured data. All of you know that it is unstructured data. So there are, when I say unstructured data, it can be in the form in databases, it can be in email, open-ended messages, web pages. I've listed many things. New groups, WhatsApp groups are also there. Documents, competitive intelligence, Twitter, social media is now very popular. Every person, whether it's educated or uneducated, they use social media. For the matter, on WhatsApp, you know, right? We can text it in Telugu or in English just by speaking in the speaker, and the text is already written. So you actually don't need to understand how to write language. You need not learn how to write the language. For that matter, writing in Telugu on WhatsApp is probably difficult. If you go to that international keyboard and select Telugu language and typing it, it is more time taking than actually speaking in Telugu and then it getting converted into Telugu language. Do you all accept that? I think yes, yeah, because I understand. So blogs, there are blogs too, and now, as you said, blogs is where content is in the form of videos. Even then, it is text that matters the most, right? Definitely, facial expressions also matter, but there comes the computer vision. But when in the audio, in the video, audio part is there, right? That audio part, in many of the AI applications, that audio part is converted into text and then analyzed. But some cases, directly the video can be analyzed too. But here, for the sake of NLP, I am focusing more on the text part. As I said, sources of text, it can be in the form of websites, social media, documents. Coming to this point, I would also say we had multiple sessions before on the healthcare side, on the education, AI in education, AI in healthcare, and AI in sports too. In any place where we use AI, in any domain that where we use AI, the data in the text plays a major role. Other than the healthcare, where we're only actually having input images, where computer vision plays a major role. But most of the AI problems that we are solving, it is a text that matters most. When text comes into picture, it is NLP. NLP is natural language processing. NLG, and recent, there are startups which are working on NLG. NLG is natural language generation, wherein you can, the AI software automatically writes paragraphs after paragraphs about the domain and the problem you're talking about. NLU is also there, wherein it understands natural language understanding. All of you would have seen Google Translation, right? Google Translate Engine, wherein you specify, let's say you want to translate content from Telugu to English, or maybe Hindi to English. You type something in Hindi and it automatically gets converted into English, or the vice versa. It need not be English, Hindi, and Telugu. And just because most of us are in India, from India, I'm focusing on these languages, but there are international languages too, like Spanish, Chinese, many other languages, wherein you type the content in the language that you're familiar with, you translate it, you click translate. You know, at the back end, what happens is it is natural language understanding that comes into picture, wherein the data is huge, very huge. The parameters will be around 1.3 billion, million in size, number of attributes, and NLU is used for that. We also have BERT package, which has been recently launched up by Google, BERT and GPT also. We'll discuss about it a little later. But as I said, coming to sources of text, these are the different sources. When I take the source from the legal domain, I'm handling the problem on the NLP on the legal domain, wherein our AI system can understand how genuine the sentence is. It can be on the research and literature. It can be on any topic that you discuss, and the text should be related to that. For any queries, it will be great if you can text it there, because as you know, it is not directly interactive. If you could put the text, I'm watching on the chat machine there, chat chat engine there. So any problem is any query, I can answer it there. Is that fine? Okay, fine. I think it's fine because there is no response. And let's discuss on the need for NLP. Need for NLP. As I said, the text is huge, right? When I say NLP, it is a software that actually a software which has tools and techniques which will extract the information and the insights that are required to solve the problem. So it is not just like a simple, like as you say, it's not just like a camera which will focus on something or something else, but it has tools and techniques which have to be understood by a data scientist and have to be applied correctly to extract the right information. And as you know, the thumb rule in any problem solving in AI is the more the information, the more the relevant information, the better it is. So it is not just that you have huge information in your hand, huge data, not information, data, huge data in your hands and you can solve the problem. The data should be relevant, and only when the data is relevant, you can extract the information from it. From the information, you actually extract the insight and then solve the problem. That are the okay. Let me complete this, Rashmi, and I'll come to NLP versus NLU. Yeah, as we say, this NLP has tools and techniques to extract the information, and the idea is to use the data contained in the unstructured data for business use. When you're applying NLP for business use, when I say business use, even healthcare can be a business use, right? If you use NLP or any AI system to find a solution for our corona, the most hot problem right now in the world, don't you think it is a wonderful business idea which will solve the problems of crores of people across the world, right? So this again will take unstructured data. When I'm talking about the textual data, it takes unstructured data to solve the business problem. And the range of techniques that can be applied in NLP can be very simple to very complex too. When I say simple, let's say if I have to just collect the word corpus is, let's say I have a text in a paragraph and I want to know the number of words in it. It is simple tokenization and then counting. That is a very simple thing. But if you have to do a sentiment analysis is to understand what exactly is the paragraph mentioning, talking about. It's not what talking about, but whether it is positive or negative or neutral. If I'm talking something great about, let's say, the administration, the Indian administration, then it's a positive sentiment, right? But it is generally that it is a general understanding that it's only a human being that can do that. But if you use NLP, it can automatically understand whether the paragraph actually has a positive sentiment, negative sentiment, or a neutral sentiment. The popular use case in the sentiment analysis is the sentiment analysis that can be done on the Twitter sentiment analysis. Now, if you have to answer the question of Rashmi, who says what is, I think do you mean whether NLP versus NLU, and NLP is natural language processing and NLU is natural language understanding. NLU is a part of NLP. NLU is a subset of NLP because only if the language is understood that a translation can be done, right? But for you to go to the level of understanding, you need to set up a grammar, and for the grammar to be set up, it is the NLP that is the root cause for that. I mean, grammar can be set up only if NLP is there in place. So NLU is a part of NLP, and as Mr. Anirudh and Narendra are mentioning, let's have the questions at the last. That will be great. Applications of NLP, as I was already mentioning to you, right? I was mentioning you, there are many applications of NLP. Some of them I've listed it over here. Social media, analytics. This is the most important thing, and this is a thing which every human being is actually part of in contributing the data, in India at least, because we are more closer to the social media, whether it's WhatsApp, Instagram. Instagram is most on the images, but most of the images, to make it sensible, we have the text also on it, right? This text is considered when you're actually understanding what the image is, when you want to do it automatically. But yeah, on computer vision too, there is something called sentiment analysis, just to understand how what is the expression that is put on the image. But as I said, we are precisely talking mostly on the NLP. Let's restrict it to the NLP part. As I said, social media analysis, one of the most hot topic now. Whichever topic you take, whichever problem you want to solve, the data that you get from the social media analysis, that is the data that you can get from, you can collect it from the social media, would be much relevant. Gone are those days of research, right? 10 years, probably a span of 10 man years, people would do research and put the data in a research paper, and companies would take that as an input and solve the problems. But now we have to rely on research papers, definitely, yes, but we have to also rely on the the data that is crawling on the social media. You remember the day when Trump was elected. There are so many social media messages. There every other not every other person, rather every minute there are around 1 million messages that were, I don't remember the count, but huge number of messages were generated both on the Twitter, Instagram, and other social media. If we can track these messages and use it for our business purpose, if the business purpose can be non-profit oriented also, it can be an NGO, which again the business is to serve the people. Anywhere, if you can track this data and use it, that will be wonderful. User-generated content analysis for market feedback. Again, this is something where it is user-generated content analysis. Let's say the data is generated for the sake of users. This also will be used for market feedback. Okay? And legal document analysis. As I was giving you an example where one of my friends has actually started a ML startup wherein the legal documents are analyzed and the AI software will fight the legal case against you. Sorry, it's for you that it will understand the different legal documents and fight it for you. It's NLP that is used here. Machine translation, as I was giving you the example, the classic example of Google translating. Yeah, some automated text classification where you can classify the text automatically, whether it's a positive, negative, or neutral, right? Word completion. How many of you have been using Google for more than 10 years? I think if it is students, probably not, but at least people like me have been using Google for more than 10 years. I remember the days when I was typing on Google and I had to write the sentence completely. But now I see that I'm very happy. When I start CO, and then I get a prompt immediately, Corona. What is the number of cases? And then immediately I get a hint from the Google itself. That is all. What is that? That is done through NLP, wherein Google is given a huge corpus. Actually, Google takes huge corpus of text related to the words that I'm using, which uses n-grams. Any query anywhere?
No, Neelima.
Okay, that's great. Yeah. And document tracking. When let's continue the Google search engine itself. When you go to Google search engine, it uses NLP at the back end where it uses n-grams technique. If you want to know more about it, you can Google to find out what Google search n-grams. Then you get all the details. Let's come to the document tracking. When you do a Google search, you see that there are around 50 results. Let's say there are 50 results. But based on what is the first document listed, there is a sequence, right? The first, there is one document that is given as a first result, and then based on what is that? It is based on document ranking. So the document is ranked based on TF-IDF. You can search for that also. TF-IDF is text frequency IDF. Wherein it understands, let's say Corona, if I'm searching for the word Corona, then it searches for the word Corona in the total number of words that are there in the text. So it divides the word number of occurrences of the word Corona with the total number of words. So it understands the frequency. So if the frequency of this word is higher in the first in one document and lesser in the other documents, definitely the document having the highest frequency would be listed first because that is more relevant, right? In an absolute terms. That is one example. And trend summarization. Trend summarization is wherein it automatically, the AI software automatically summarizes the trend. Trend in the sense it can be any word that you are talking about, or it can be text, it can be a paragraph, whatever, it summarizes. Document clustering, again, all of you would have heard about clustering. It's an unsupervised algorithm wherein the different documents are clustered and grouped based on the patterns of the data. Again, when it's patterns of the data, it is patterns of text over here, which again means it is NLP. Question answering system. You also have heard of question answering system, right? It also works on the NLP. Code compensation system, everything. Search engines definitely on NLP. Yeah, any query, please note it down and we'll discuss at the end. Kinds of NLPs.
Neelima, we got a wrap in next 5 minutes. if that's all right.
Okay. So I'll faster interrupt. Yeah, I'll run fast. Okay.
Thank
As
you.
I've listed over here, kinds of NLP: the syntactic analysis, semantic analysis, discourse analysis. Right? Syntactic analysis is only worried about the syntax, grammar too. When you say semantic, let me give an example. If I say, let me say, I chair pink. Does this make any sense? It doesn't, right? So when you apply syntactic analysis on the sentence that I have just spoken, I chair pink, it doesn't make sense. So syntactic analysis is what you said is not correct. When we go to semantic analysis, so syntactic analysis checks for the grammar of the sentence and whether it is making sense or not. When it comes to semantic analysis, it also understands how meaningful is a sentence. Let's say hot ice cream. Is it possible that the ice cream can be hot? It is not, right? We as human beings understand it, but when I apply that to syntactic analysis, it says it is valid. When I apply the same to when I apply semantic analysis to this sentence, hot ice cream, it says that's not valid because it is semantic. It understands the meaning too. Discourse analysis is another type of analysis, but because there is a shortage of time, let us further go. Most tasks are syntactical, as I said in NLP. Most tasks are syntactical, but when you go to advanced NLP applications, let's say Google Translation, we also consider semantic analysis. Even for that matter, when Google Translation was started, I have used Google Translation around 10 years back too. I don't remember the number of years, maybe 8 years back. Then I felt, what is this? What is this? It doesn't make any sense, because I try translating English from English to Telugu. It doesn't make any sense. But now when I see the same, it makes sense. It translates it properly, more or less okay. Because initially when they have used Google Translate, it was only syntactic analysis they have tried, and then came the analysis called semantic analysis, which they have applied on the Google Translate. Google Translate engine has applied the semantic analysis, and then the solution is better. Yeah, syntactic NLP is basically tokenization, wherein it will understand wherever there is a gap, that is a space. Every word, there is a one single or one or two spaces between two words, right? So based on the space, all words are collected as words. A sentence is taken and the words are split. After that, stop word removal. You know, the words like and, is, are, for, or these words are used for the sake of grammar. Individually, they don't make much sense, right? So these are called stop words. So these stop words are removed, because the focus is only on the words which makes much sense. And once they are removed, we apply stemming and lemmatization and n-grams and parts of speech. This is all part of our NLP itself. This is what Google search engine also does to a greater extent. Example of POS tagging. The slide before that, this is nothing but POS tagging. But if you have to do POS tagging, initially, that is when it was around a couple of years back, then probably you would have done everything for any domain you take. I have done it for that matter. But now there are POS tags already available in many of the domains. It's like I've listed the domains here: determiner, existential there, foreign word. So if you can, these are the already present POS tags. You can just apply these POS tags, and the life of a program becomes simpler. Moving from syntactic to semantic analysis, as I mentioned, again, there is another example that I put on the screen. King is to queen is as man is to. If I ask a human being, it would definitely say it is a woman, right? That is applied because that is understood by an AI software also only because semantic analysis is there. Otherwise, if it is only syntactic analysis, it wouldn't have understood that man is to, then probably it would have given some answer. But when semantic analysis is there, we can understand. Big is to bigger as bad is to worse. Going is to went as being is to worse. Again, these are the example to understand how this semantic analysis is done. The concept of distance measure is used. You must be wondering, what is a distance measure in the words? Well, in general scenario, the most that a human being can do is a three-dimensional space, right? Imaginative three-dimensional space to plot different data points. But our AI, what is it does it? It can have around 300 dimensions also, because it calculates the distance between words rather, using the 300, by default is a 300 dimension, but you can put multiple dimensions also. Based on the dimensions, it creates a data space. The algorithms, NLTK is one of the known packages that is there, using which distances can be measured. In the example here, I have just shown a 3-dimensional space. You can see that the distance between man and woman is very similar to the distance between king and queen, right? It is based on the occurrence of the words. In most of the sentences, king and queen go together, man and woman go together. That way, it calculates the distance, and based on the distance measures, semantic analysis is.
Neelima, we got to wrap the session because we got a couple of people from USA, which is like late midnight for them now. It's almost 3 in the night for them.
So could you give me 1 minute time then? Is that possible?
Sure.
So
sure.
semantics with embeddings. This presentation would be shared with you. I think I would share with the organizers, Mr. Mahesh and Prashant. So these are the other examples. But you also have word to vec, product to vec. These are the different word embedding implementations that can be used. NLP need not be with ML, but yeah, with a huge amount of data and the problems that we are solving, it is NLP and ML that go together. Spam classes is another example. BERT is a latest package that is there, which will help, as I said, 1.3 million attributes are there, using which problems are solved, wherein the accuracy is more than 95% in all the, whether it's a spam classification or the word encoding or engram detection, whatever. BERT is one of them, and GPT is another one. I'm just scrolling through these, but tomorrow's NLP problems will be data driven by complex machine learning as exemplified by neural machine translation. So guys, believe and have more, basically believe that most data, whatever said and done, will be based on NLP. Even if you take a video, as I said, there are many machines, there are many AI softwares where the audio is converted into text and then analyzed. Audio can be converted into signals and then to analyze, but accuracy is more when it is converted into text and analyzed. So have a great passion in NLP, and there are plenty of packages, NLTK being the most important. And if you have more interest, you can do research on BERT and GPT, which are the latest things. Thank you Mahesh, thank you Prashant, and thank you Narendra for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you very much for that, Neelima. Thanks for bringing that AI via NLP information. As you mentioned, you will share the details to us. We will certainly pass it across to the rest of the team. Now let's quickly move on to